What's good, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am Tino, and on my channel, I talk about all things engineering, things about relocation, life in the UK as a migrant, and everything. So, if that sounds like something you might be interested in, then take along and let's get to know each other. So, today I am going to be talking about the structure of a CV that will land you a job in the UK. Because this is something that I've been putting off for a while, but I've seen comments and messages about how a person should structure their CV to get a job in the engineering field in the UK. So we're going to talk about that today. So let's get right into it. I am going to talk about what is not supposed to be in your CV first before I tell you what you're actually supposed to put into your CV or your resume. Now, your CV is a quick 5-second representation of you as a professional. So there is no reason to go about putting a lot of flowery language, a lot of formatting, backgrounds, or pictures or color to your CV. There really is no reason for you to do all that because, like we all know, with the way things are progressing in the world, there's AI and there's a whole lot of ATS going around. So many things like formatting, pictures, backgrounds, color, and a whole lot of other things that I've mentioned before are not ATS friendly. And that means your CV is literally thrown away before an employer or an actual human being gets a glimpse of it, which is something that we don't want. So make sure your CV is short, precise, straight to the point. Another thing that you need to know is there is no one size fits all for every job that you're going to apply for. So there is no one size fits all CV or resume for every job that you're going to apply for. What I'm saying here is there's a job description every time you look at a job and the kind of candidates that they're looking for and also what the company values are. Usually they put things like that in a job description, right? And the advert as a whole. So now what you have to do for every job that you apply for is go onto the job description and onto the advert and then look at the job description, look at the values that they've put in place, look at the skills that they want you to have and the ideal candidate that they put in place as well. And then those are the words, the keywords that you pick from the description, the company values, the ideal candidate. Pick keywords from that and then just check it in your CV, not randomly, obviously in a sensible way, but put those words in your CV. This way it can be ATS friendly and it will fit into the system as, flagging as, okay, this person's CV or this person's resume has the qualities or some of the keywords that we put in the job description. So it has a chance of actually being viewed by a human. So for example, if the job description says they're looking for a person who has good time management, who's a team player, an ideal candidate who has, skills of, for example, as an electrician, maybe maintenance electrician or a person with 18th edition IEE wiring regulations. Those are the things that you're going to highlight in the job description or the ideal candidates part and then put those things. I'm a team player, or as part of your attributes, put things like the IEE regulations as part of the skills and educational thing that you possess, because this will make your CV stand out. So that is one job. And then probably another job comes along and they want a person who's a jointer. They want somebody who has underground experience, probably somebody who has mining experience. You now come in and take those keywords, put them in your CV. That way ATS will flag it as this person actually has the qualities or the attributes that we want, and you get a chance to have an actual human being view your CV. And like I said, it's a 5-second depiction of you as a professional. Now, at least if a human gets a chance to look at it, now they get a chance to see everything. And that's why I said it has to be simple to read and straight to the point. Now, let's get into the different sections or, bits and pieces of the CV that I think would be the best to use, or at least what has worked for me and a few other people that I've given the CV to. So the first thing that you're going to need in your CV obviously is the top part, which is the header of your CV, where you have your name, you have your, if you have a LinkedIn account, which I believe you should have, is your LinkedIn profile link. You should also have an ideal area code of where you stay. For example, if you are in the UK, you can just put in, England, UK. Or if you are in America, you can just put in, I don't know, Los Angeles, USA, things like that, just so a person has an idea as to where exactly you are and how best to assist you. If you're in Zimbabwe, you can just put Harare, Zimbabwe. This way, if an employer sees your CV, now they know obviously to be able to bring you into the company, they need to give you sponsorship. If you're in Nigeria, you put Lagos, Nigeria, things like that. Now that's just it, nothing more, nothing less. And then you also put in your email address so that the employer can be able to contact you. There's no need to put in your picture or your cell phone number. There's no need for all that. Just put in your email address, your LinkedIn link if you have it, the area that you are in, and your name. That's it. The second bit of your CV is going to be your personal summary. So on top of your personal summary, just a little heading that you can put in place is the actual job that you're applying for. So if you're applying for a role as a plumber, you put in plumber. If you're applying for a role as a design engineer, you put in design engineer. If you're applying for a role as an electrician, you put that in place. And then in your personal summary, what you need to do is highlight your skills and your expertise as a professional and how these skills and expertise relate to the job you are applying for. There is no point telling people that you have underground experience, you can do a lot of lifting and things like that when you're applying for an office job. It's really not necessary. So here, you, like I said, your skill set as it applies or as it relates to the job description. You're also showing the employer how you can be of service or how you can be of use to the company or to solve a problem in the company. So if they're looking for a maintenance electrician, or if they're looking for an underground miner or things like that, I don't know, just highlight in your personal summary how your skills suit the problem that they have, how your skills suit the description that they have, and then that is where you can actually have a chance to escape ATS or to get trapped by it. Next section in your CV would be your work experience. So this is previous work experience as it relates to the job description. There is no point highlighting your sales experience when you are applying probably for an engineering post which has nothing to do with sales whatsoever. I think what's best is to highlight your work experience as it relates to the job description. So you're going to put in the company that you've worked for, how long you've worked for that company, and your role in that company. So now the role that you're going to highlight would be maybe a sentence or two to highlight the role that you were in and how you made an impact in that role. So as underneath the role and that 1 or 2 sentence explanation, you put in your accomplishments, what you were able to achieve, the goal that you had put in, and the results that you were able to achieve. So if you were working as, say, maintenance electrician, oh my god, I've used this example so many times. It comes off easy because that's the field that I'm in. But anyways, so if you've worked as a maintenance electrician in your previous post, you can highlight the wiring experience that you put in place, or how you've helped wire a building, new builds, or new builds. It could be new builds, it could be existing buildings, and things like that. So the kind of results that you achieved in the time frame probably that you were given, it all goes in your work experience. So the other thing with the work experience is there is no reason to just throw things around. Put it in proper chronological order, starting with your most recent experience, going back to, you know, whenever you started working. But like I said, there is no reason to put in work experience for things that do not relate, given the example I gave previously. The fourth section of your CV will be your education. So whether you have a degree or a master's or a bachelor's degree, a master's, or PhD, your national certificate, your diploma, your high school certificate, things like that. Just put it in there. There is no reason to put in a lot of detail in that regard. If you have a master's degree, just put in your master's in engineering, which you attained from the University of ABCD in the year 2019 to 2020. That's it. There is no reason to put in I achieved a 2.1 degree class, and then during my time I was doing ABCD. No, honestly, it's not necessary. Unless you are straight out of university and then you don't have work experience whatsoever, then you use this education section to highlight the projects that you carried out during the time that you were at school. That's allowed. But if you have, for example, a PhD, a master's, bachelor's degree, high school certificate, and things like that, and you have loads and loads of work experience, there is no reason why you should then go in and try and explain each and every section. Just put in your master's in engineering or master's in electrical, master's in mechanical, whatever, and you achieved it in this year, attained from this university. That's it. I've also seen a couple of people, when it comes to their high school bit of education, they want to go in and put in all the subjects that they wrote, all the subjects that they studied, and the grade that they attained per subject. That is completely unnecessary and it's just monotonous. There's no reason why you should do that at all. So just put in, starting with the most recent achievement, which is the most recent educational achievement. If it's just a bachelor's degree, just put in your bachelor's in electrical engineering, and then attained from ABCD University in this year. And then you also have probably a national diploma, put it in, national certificate, put that in, and then a high school certificate. Just say you have it and the year that you attained it and the school that you went to. That's just good for reference and just past history. But if you don't have any work experience, like I said, you can go ahead and explain just the bit where you have the bachelor's degree, or things that relate to the job that you're applying for. There is no point explaining all your high school education or all the subjects that you took in high school, because I don't really think it relates to the job that you'll be applying for. Moving on to the next section of your CV, it'll be your volunteer experience, if you have any. Okay, so this bit is, well, it's all a choice. It's a matter of choice. However, I find it makes you a bit more personable, and it makes you a person. It makes somebody be able to relate to you on a not so professional basis. So now your volunteer experience, just put in what role you volunteered as, and at which organization, and in what time frame. Now in this section, you might also just want to express or explain what impact you had to the people that you were volunteering to, or to the organization that you were volunteering to, because this, like I said, it makes you more personable. You don't really need to go in depth about it, but you just need to put that in place so that you have this impression of, okay, this is an actual real person who has made an impact in the world, and it just gives you a certain edge when it comes to the hiring process. The next bit of your CV will be your professional skills. So this is where reading the job description and the ideal candidate parts of the job advert really pays off, because now you take the words that they have used in the job description, the words that they've used in their ideal candidate section, and some of the words that they've used in the job advert as a whole, to then structure the professional skills that you have. For example, if you have a bunch of them, but in their job advert they've just highlighted 3 or 4, then just take those 3 or 4 professional skills that they've highlighted, which you possess, then you put them in there. There's no point lying, honestly, because now if you lie and then you can't execute certain things that you said you could, then that's just going to be a messy situation. So read the job description thoroughly, highlight keywords that they've put in place in that description, take those skills, then put them in the professional skills section of your CV. Which goes back to what I said before, no one size fits all CV for every job, because it's all different. Today you might find a job that needs a team player, tomorrow you might find a job that needs somebody who works individually, the other time you might need somebody who can be supervised, and then another job might need somebody who works with no supervision at all. So take time to read through the job description and the job advert with intentional reasons to actually feel a CV that will match the job you're applying for. So after your professional skills, then the last section that I would put in a CV is obviously professional memberships. As an engineering person, obviously you know you need to be a member of a professional body. Now, there varies depending on the country that you are in, and depending on the kind of level of education that you have or experience that you have. So I can't really list down much, but there's a difference between a person who's a chartered engineer and just, a person who isn't, honestly. Because in terms of even salary, a chartered engineer will get paid a little bit more or even way more than just a general engineer, just because of that difference and that, professionalism. So now what I'm saying is, put in your professional memberships. If you're a member of any professional board, just put it in there. If you have chartered status as an engineer, put it in there, because it also makes you stand out. I think I've really exhausted everything that I think is really necessary when it comes to structuring your CV, and when it comes to having a CV that will land you your job. So I will put a template down below. You just edit the template, fix it up to match whatever you want it to match, and then I'm sure you will be able to get something. Another thing is, your CV should just be at least, actually, yes, at least 1 page. There is no reason whatsoever a person should have a whole booklet of, of a CV, unless if you have that much experience, obviously. But honestly, it's not important and it's not necessary to have a whole booklet of a CV. Like I said, it needs to be simple to read, straight to the point, short and precise, short and sweet. That's just how it's supposed to be. So 1 page is more than enough in my take, unless if you have a lot of experience that you want to highlight, then fine, you can go for it. However, 1 page for me, that's enough. Keep it short, precise, straight to the point, highlight the best professional you, and I'm sure you'll be able to land your dream job. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, tag somebody, suggest the channel to somebody, and somebody might actually be helped by the information that I've been sharing and I've shared. Thank you guys. See you next time. Bye.